Okay, so for right now, how about we get the music going? That way we're all on the same page. And if everybody has the slow flow under my name, Maren Leah, on Spotify, we're going to press play on the first song. I'll count down from 3 and then we'll press play. Okay? So 3, 2, 1, press play. It's just going to start off with the sound of waves for a little bit. Well, awesome, guys. This is going to be a 45-minute class, a very relaxing and slow-moving flow for you guys. I know it's just about dinner time over there. So let's begin in child's pose. So your knees are out wide, big toes to touch in the back. If for some reason this is too much on your lower back, just bring your knees in a little closer. And then let your chest sink down. Walk your hands out in front of you and let your forehead come down to the mat. Just start to become aware of your body. Start to become aware of your breath without changing it. And just notice your mind. Is it moving fast? Is it moving slow? So I know I mentioned about giving back in the yoga community and how important that is. One of the big lessons in yoga is actually about stealing. And obviously we're against stealing things from people. But there's another aspect of theft. It's about stealing time. Being late when you're going to meet somebody, when you're holding a meeting and running overtime into somebody else's time. That also constitute theft. So maybe today you think about that, where in your life you could fix this. You can be more aware of other people's time, other people's space. You can steal space. Sitting on the subway with your legs wide open and putting your bags on a seat, that's stealing space. So where can you be more aware in your life of others? Start to feel your breath deepen right here. Feel your inhales expand your core, expand your chest, and then feel your exhales start to drop your chest closer to the floor. Let's take a few deep, full breaths together right here. Inhale deeply through your nose and open your mouth, sigh it out. It should be loud. One more, just like that. Inhale deeply through your nose. And then open your mouth and sigh it out. Now keeping that same texture, gently close your lips and start to breathe in and out through your nose. A slight constriction in the back of your throat, like you're hugging the back of your throat, so it should sound like the ocean. It should be loud, maybe almost annoyingly loud inside your head. We use this breath, this Ujjayi Pranayama breath, to build heat inside of our bodies, but it's also about attention. It brings us back to this space You might start thinking about something else, maybe about how you look doing the yoga, or man, my leg doesn't go that far, I'm so inflexible. Let those feelings, let those thoughts go and come back to this breath. It's only 45 minutes long. Just be here with your breath, because even if you sat just like this and you breathed for 45 minutes, you will still walk off of your mat feeling better than when you walked on. With your next inhale, walk your hands in and come up onto all fours. So your shoulders are over your wrists, your hips are over your knees. It's a tabletop. With your inhale, drop your belly, spread your chest, look up, cow pose. Exhale, round your spine, tuck your chin, tuck your tailbone, cat pose. One more round, a little deeper this time. Inhale, really arch your back, spread your clavicles wide, look up. Exhale, push your palms down, push your spine up towards the ceiling. Now come to a neutral spine, a flat back. With your inhales, tuck your toes under and lift your knees only to a hover. We're not here for long, I know it's uncomfortable. With your inhale, tighten your belly. With your exhale, stay exactly where you are. One more inhale, lift your hips up and back, downward facing dog. It's an inverted V shape. And just start to walk out your feet slowly. Feel your head hang heavy. Really push this part of your hands, this forefinger and thumb, push that part right into the mat. Try to release your shoulders. You're bringing your shoulders down your back. Your tailbone is pushing up towards the ceiling. And come back to that breath. Inhale, come up high on your toes. And then exhale, heels drop down towards the mat. Inhale, come up high on your toes and look between your hands, and as you exhale, just tiptoe your way up towards the top. You can have a deep bend in your knees once you get there. And step your feet 2 fists distance apart. So put your hands like this. Make sure your feet are no further than 2 fists distance apart. And grab your elbows and sway side to side. Shake your head yes. Shake it no. All your weight is pressing towards the balls of your feet here. And maybe you straighten one knee at a time. Just connecting to the backs of your legs here. Now this is considered an inversion. Anytime your head is below your heart, it's an inversion. So you're getting the benefits of the blood in your body rushing towards your brain. It's really good if you're having a bad day, if you're feeling down in the dumps. Just a simple forward fold like this. With your next exhale, let your hands trickle down towards the floor. It's okay if they don't touch. You can keep a deep bend in your knees. Inhale, you're going to take a halfway lift. So bring your hands to your shins or maybe your thighs, and you're pressing away from you so that the crown of your head is pushing forward. Exhale, fold again, a little bit deeper this time. Inhale, take a bend in your knees and then slowly roll up to standing. Your head comes up last. And then reach your arms up, look up. Exhale, bring your hands to heart center. Just close your eyes or soften your gaze for one moment. This is where we set our intention for the practice. What brought you here today? And what do you want to walk off your mat with? Maybe it's a word or a phrase. It could be something like calmness. It could be strength. Whatever it is, just say it over and over again in your head right now. See yourself as that. If your eyes are closed, flutter them open. Inhale, reach your arms up, look up. Now with your exhale, grab your left wrist with your right hand and pull to the right. So we're taking a side bend. Inhale, come back to center. And then exhale, side bend to the left. You're turning your chest upwards. Inhale, come back to center. Release your hands back behind you. Make sure your feet are still 2 fists distance apart. That's hip distance. Inhale, grow taller. So reach the crown of your head up. And then as you exhale, just lean back. Use your hands to support your lower back and squeeze your thighs together. That protects your lower back. You don't have to go far here to feel it, just taking a light back bend. Next, inhale, slowly start to come back up. Keep your hands where they are. And then as you exhale, let your hands trace the backs of your legs as you fold all the way forward. Remember, always keep a deep bend in your knees if you need it. Inhale, take a halfway lift, flatten your back. Exhale, your hands come down to the floor and step your right foot back. Awesome. Now drop that right knee down onto the mat. So your left foot is forward. And just feel this in your hip for a moment. You should feel this in your right hip flexor. Maybe you move around a little bit. Just let it open up. When we do yoga teacher trainings, they warn you that when you do hip openers for people, sometimes people will start to cry. And not because they hurt, but because this is where we hold a lot of tension in our hip joints. And sometimes we hold our emotions in there too. Now start to walk your hands up. If pushing on your left knee helps you start to sit up, you can do that. Otherwise, just slowly start to sit up. We're coming into a low lunge here. So notice if your knee is far past your ankle joint and just try to bring it up so it's stacked on top of each other. With your inhale, reach your arms up. So we're still in that low lunge. Your back toes are untucked. So the top of your back foot is pressing down into the floor. You don't have to be deep in this lunge either. You could probably feel it just like this. And in this lunge, think about pressing your right hip forward as you're pulling your left hip back. So it's squaring your hips towards the front of your mat. One more inhale, reach your chest up, reach your arms up, maybe a little back bend here. And then with your exhale, bring your hands to the floor and then sit your hips back. And you're gonna be pulling your left toes up towards your face here. Your butt can come all the way down to the floor if you would like, or maybe you keep it lifted. What works best for you? Just notice if you're locking out that joint. Can you see how my joint is locking out? You can hurt yourself that way. Try to keep a gentle bend in that knee when you fold. Can you release the muscles in your neck here? And just come back to that breath, that deep Ujjayi breathing. Maybe you start to count 4 seconds in with your inhale. Hold it at the top. 4 seconds out with your exhale. And think of your breath almost like an infinity sign. So you can't tell where your exhale begins and your inhale ends. Beautiful. Slowly start to walk your hands forward, bringing weight back into your left foot. And then you're going to step up. So tuck your back toes, lift your back knee, and you're going to hinge forward, and maybe you walk that foot in and kick that back leg up, or maybe you keep those toes on the floor. So you do what works best for you. If you want to challenge your balance, maybe you come into a standing split. That back leg, your right leg, is lifting up towards the ceiling. And with your exhale, bring your right leg down to meet your left leg. Awesome. Inhale, take another halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, roll up to standing. Your head is slightly tucked and then lifts up last. Reach your arms up, look up. Now with your exhale, let's take a side bend to the left first. So you're grabbing your right wrist and pulling. So you're opening up your right side body. Chest is turned upwards. A light press of your right foot into the floor. Inhale, come back to center and switch out your grip. Exhale, side bend to the right. Inhale, come back to center. This time, goal post your arms so that your elbows are in line with your shoulders, and take a baby back bend that way. Inhale, reach your arms back up, look up. Exhale, hands pass through heart center as you forward fold all the way down. Inhale, take a halfway lift. Exhale, your hands come down. This time you're stepping your left foot all the way back. We're coming into that low lunge, but first just notice your hip here. So really feel this in your left psoas muscle. Those are the muscles that wrap around your hip towards your belly. So you really should feel this. Maybe if your knee is bent, if you start to straighten it, you can feel it a little bit more. Just play around here. Notice that joint. You're trying to release your hip joint. And when you're ready, slowly drop your back knee down. Untuck your back toes. And then walk your hands up your right thigh. So we're coming into that low lunge again. With your inhale, reach your arms up. Press your chest up towards the ceiling. And then pull your right hip back as you press your left hip forward. And keep breathing. It's easy to hold your breath during these poses. And there's a reason for that. There's a reason why we breathe through all of these poses. It teaches us to sit with the discomfort, right? In life, there are things that are going to be uncomfortable. When you come back to your breath, you can get through them. Discomfort is temporary. One more deep inhale. Reach up towards the ceiling. And then exhale, bring your hands down to the floor. And sit your hips back as you straighten your right leg. Remember to keep that micro bend in your right knee. And fold. Maybe you notice this side feels a little more open, or maybe it feels a little bit more closed. It's totally normal that your sides don't feel the same. That is normal. Just notice it. Deep, full Ujjayi breathing right here. Can you go a little deeper to feel the back of your right leg? Now notice if you ever feel a pinpoint pain to back off. So if something feels sharp, that means you're going too far. But if you feel an uncomfortable stretch, that's good. That's you getting deep into the muscle. As long as it's not pain and it's just the discomfort of the stretch, that is how we get more flexible. Come back to your breath if you've lost it. Slowly start to lift back up. Bring weight back into your right foot and plant your palms out in front of your right foot. Now remember, we're tucking our back toes under, lifting the back knee. If you want to step your back foot in, or maybe you take a giant leap forward, lifting your back leg up into the standing split. Try to release your head, maybe a slight tuck of your chin, and then open up that left hip. You can always keep that back toe down. You don't have to lift it up. One more inhale. And then exhale, step your left foot up to meet your right. Inhale, take a halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, roll up to standing, reach your arms up, look up. And now with your exhale, start to bend your knees. Now you can keep your feet 2 fist distance apart, or you can bring them together. We're coming into chair pose. Arms are lifted. You're sitting deep, like there's a kiddie chair behind you, but tuck your tailbone under. Don't arch your back and stick your butt out. So tuck your tailbone under. Chest is lifted. I know it's uncomfortable. Can you come back to your breath? With your next inhale, you're going to drop your right fingertips down and back and turn to face your right shoulder. Inhale, come back to center, and then exhale the other way. This is our last little bit of work here. Inhale, come back to chair center, and then exhale, forward fold as you straighten your legs. Inhale, take a halfway lift. Exhale, step your right foot back, and then step your left foot back into a high plank. You can bring your knees right down. Slowly start to lower, bringing your elbows in towards your sides, all the way down onto your belly. Awesome, guys. Untuck your back toes. And then reach your arms out to the sides here. So like you're making the letter T. Bring your left palm in towards your left ribs, and you're gonna push the floor away from you as you step your left foot back behind your right leg. So you're getting a shoulder stretch here. You don't have to go far, and if this hurts a lot, don't do it. But also you can walk your hands closer to your hip, and that becomes less strenuous on your shoulder joint. If you want to feel it more, walk your hand further up. So we're getting deep into the shoulder stretch here. You can wrap your left arm behind your back if you want to feel it a little bit more. You can bring both feet to the floor, both knees pointed up, and just rest your head. So these twists that we're doing and shoulder openings is really good for all of the sitting you guys do. Sitting in front of your laptop, sitting at desks. It's really important to do twists of your spine. When you're ready, slowly roll back onto your belly and open both arms back up. Just close your eyes, bring one cheek to the mat, and notice how different your right shoulder feels from your left shoulder. You can close your eyes. Beautiful. Now slowly start to bring your right palm beside your right ribs. We're going to do the other side. And then push the floor away from you, this time stepping your right foot behind your extended left leg. You can wrap your right arm behind your back if you would like. Bring your head to the floor. And remember, you can modify this. You don't have to go deep into your shoulder here. Walk your hand closer towards your hip. If you need a little less, walk it up if you need a little more. But can you come back to your breath? Can you feel your breath going in and coming out? Maybe you start to count again if you lost that. Awesome. When you're ready, you're going to slowly step your right foot back over and roll onto your belly. Open up both arms. And maybe you bring your other cheek to the mat and close your eyes. Feel your shoulders. Feel your spine. Now bring your hands alongside your body, your arms alongside your body. Your toes are going to remain untucked, and bring your chin to the mat. With your inhale, peel your chest up off of the mat. If you want to lift your arms up, maybe you lift your arms up. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. But try to keep the tops of your feet pressing down just for a moment. Exhale, bring your forehead down, bring your hands down. This time we're going to bring our feet up too. Inhale, lift your chest, lift your arms, and squeeze them back like you're holding a beach ball behind your back. And then lift your legs up and squeeze them together. Deep, full breaths. I know it's hard to breathe. Strengthening your lower back right here. Inhale, lift a little further up. And then exhale. Maybe you bring another cheek to the mat. And rest. We're going to do one more back bend. So with your next inhale, bend your knees and kick your heels towards your butt. Now, you don't have to do this if this is too much for you. You can do exactly what we just did, which was locust pose. This is coming into floor bow. You're going to reach back and grab for your feet. If this doesn't work for you, just don't do it. With your inhale, you're going to lift your chest and push the tops of your feet into your hands. Inhale, lift. You don't have to go far here. Can you soften that spot in between your eyebrows if it's all wrinkled? Are you clenching your jaw? Where can you soften? If you'd like to flex your feet, try that. See if it feels a little bit better for you. One more inhale. Lift a little further. And then exhale, let your chest come down. Release your feet and just, you're gonna shift your feet back and forth like windshield wipers, releasing your lower back. Awesome. Now let your legs come out long. Bring your hands up beside your ribs and then push up onto all fours and then sit your hips back right into child's pose. Now we just did a lot of back bending, so for a moment we're gonna round our spine. What we're gonna come into is called rabbit pose. So while we're in child's pose, bring your knees closer together instead of out wide. Now you're gonna bring the top of your head, the very top of your head, to the mat right by your knees, right in front of you. So it looks like this, and you're reaching back behind you, you're grabbing your heels, the top of your head comes down, and you're just gonna sit your hips up. So you're rounding your spine. So from the side, it looks like this. Keep breathing. And then exhale, sit your hips back. Bring your hands to the floor. You're just gonna sit your hips to one side and swing your legs out in front of you. Awesome. With your inhale, reach your arms up, look up. And then exhale, fold forward. If you want to keep a deep bend in your knees and grab your feet, that's actually better than not grabbing your feet at all. So this is less of a stretch than bending your knees and grabbing for your feet. So whatever it takes to get to your feet, because you want that resistance. And where can you soften? Can you release your head? You want to consider, you want length forward. So you want to keep your chest lifted instead of rounded down, and then let your head drop down. Maybe you flex your feet to feel it a little bit more in the backs of your legs. Inhale, slowly start to lift back up. Reach your arms up, look up. You guys are doing amazingly. And now with your exhale, you're going to use your core and roll all the way down onto your back. Yep. So slowly roll all the way down. Beautiful, guys. Let's take one full body stretch. So reach your arms up overhead, point your toes, and then exhale, bring your knees in towards your chest. Maybe you bring your head up towards your knees. Give yourself a squeeze. You can take some ankle rolls if you want. And let your head come down. Now let your left foot come down to the floor. You're gonna hook your right ankle over your left knee. So this is called a figure four, but it's also a great way to take a pigeon pose. If ever you're in class and they're in pigeon and that's just a little too much on your hips, this is a really great alternative. So you're gonna bring your right hand in between your legs as you bring your left knee in towards your chest. So my right hand is coming in between my legs. My left hand is coming on the outside of my left thigh. I'm gonna interlace my fingers and pull my thigh, my left thigh, in towards my chest. Now I'm using my right elbow to press my right knee away from my body. So you're getting a deep hip opening here. You should feel this in your right butt and your right thigh, especially the outside here. If you want a little bit more, maybe you straighten your left leg, but you don't have to do that. All of this is optional. And can you close your eyes and just focus on the sensation in your body and your breath going in for 4 seconds. Holding gently at the top and then smoothly coming out for 4 seconds. Can you notice if there's a muscle holding on or gripping or tightening somewhere in your hip and that won't let you completely release? Can you notice it and maybe soften it just a little bit? there's a saying in yoga, if you hate a pose, it means you need it the most. So if in your mind you're thinking, I hate this, that means you have to do these kinds of movements to open up your hips. Slowly bring your left foot down to the mat. And now you're going to cross your right leg completely over your left leg. Now bring both knees in towards your chest and grab for your feet. So your legs are crossed, but your right hand is on your left foot. And vice versa. Great. So if you don't feel this a lot, pull your feet away from each other and then pull your feet towards the floor. This is called reclined cow face pose. Again, can you soften everything? Soften your face, soften your breath. Notice if you're squeezing something in your hip, can you release it? This you should really feel on the outside of your right hip or both hips. And then slowly release your feet. Bring your left foot back down, keeping your legs crossed. Now let your knees drop to the left. Open up your arms wide and turn your head to the right. So we're taking a supine twist. If you want a little bit more in this twist, maybe you straighten your right leg. You can also reach with your left hand for your right foot. If you want a little bit more, maybe you reach down with your right hand and grab your left foot. You do you here. You don't have to go deep. You're getting that deep twist sensation already. Just breathe. Every single day, it's important we move our spine 6 different ways. So that's forward folding. We already did that. Backward bending, we did that. Side bends right, side bends to the left. We did both of those. And then twisting right and twisting left. If you think about where your brain is in terms of where your spine is and how your spinal cord and all of those connections feed right into your brain, having good spinal health is really important for having good mental health. We have to take care of our spines. We only have one. Inhale, slowly bring your knees back up. Uncross your legs. And let's just bring our arms around our shins one more time. Maybe rock side to side. Just staying in this ball, feeling your lower back massage into the floor. And now bring your right foot down to the mat. And this time you're going to hook your left foot over your right knee. Your left hand comes in between your legs. You're starting to bring your right knee up towards your chest and then reach around with your right hand. Interlace your fingers behind your right thigh and then pull it in as your left elbow opens up your left hip, pressing against your left thigh. Again, you can straighten your leg if you want a little bit more. Remember, you're in control here of how much you feel in this left hip. Continue to soften your breath. Now bring your right foot down to the mat. And this time you're crossing your left leg all the way over your right leg. Bring your knees in towards your chest. Reach over, grab for your feet. Remember, if you need to feel it more, you pull your feet away from each other and then down towards the floor. If you want to feel it less, just bring your feet closer to your hips. Can you soften your eyes or close them if that's comfortable for you? Can you come back to your breath if your mind is somewhere else? Really focusing on your inhales. And then maybe with your exhale, you open up your hip just a little bit more. Now release your feet. Your right foot comes down to the floor. You're going to cross your legs again, so keep them crossed. This time you're letting your knees drop to the right. Open up your arms to a T and then turn your head to the left. And remember those alternatives. If you want to feel a little bit more, you can straighten your left leg. You can also reach down and grab for your right foot back behind you. Notice if you can soften your shoulders down to the floor. If your left shoulder is up, maybe you can shift your hips a little bit and then lower your left shoulder down towards the floor. Both shoulders down. Inhale, bring your knees back up, roll onto your back. And this time, bring your knees out wide. We're coming into happy baby. And bring your feet up like they're walking on the ceiling, so your knees are bent. Grab the outsides of your feet. If that's not accessible, it's okay. Just grab your thighs and pull your knees in towards your armpits. If you have your feet, really pull down so that your knees are by your armpits for happy baby, and just rock side to side. Again, massaging your lower back into the floor. Maybe you straighten one leg at a time, if that feels good. You can straighten both legs if that feels good. And just keep rocking. When you're ready, release your feet. Bring your knees in towards your chest. Bring your head up. Squeeze everything in. You squeeze your face. Squeeze every muscle in your toes, in your fingers, in your forehead, in your thighs. Squeeze it all in. Tense every single muscle. Take a deep inhale. Hold it at the top. Exhale, open up. You've made it to Savasana. Bring your feet towards the corners of your mat, far apart from each other. Your arms at your sides, away from your body. Palms up to receive the energy of the universe, or maybe palms down to ground you. Close your eyes or soften your gaze. And just enjoy this rest when your body absorbs every single thing we just did. Let your breath just come in and go out. Let your mind do what it needs to do. Resist the urge to fidget or move your clothing and just let everything be right where it is. Slowly start to bring some awareness back into the room. And don't move anything yet. Just notice how different your body feels from when we started. Maybe you notice how different your mind feels. What feels softer, more open? Start to wake up your body. You could wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. You can roll your wrists, your ankles. Inhale, reach your arms up overhead, point your toes one more time. Take a full body stretch. Exhale, bring your knees in towards your chest and wrap your arms around your shins again. Let your head stay on the mat, but make this count as a hug, a real self-hug, this moment of gratitude because you showed up today. Thank yourself. You could have been a million other places, but you chose to be here, to do good, not only for you, but for others. When you're ready, roll onto your right or your left side, whatever side you need right here. Think of it as a side of new beginnings, a fresh start. And you can use your bicep as a pillow. Using your hands, push your way up to a comfortable seat, whatever that means for you. Bring your hands to heart center. Keep your eyes closed or your gaze softened. Let's take a deep breath together right here. Inhale deeply through your nose. Hold it at the top. Open your mouth, let it go. Let's do one more, just like that. We're breathing as a community. Inhale deeply through your nose, then hold it at the top. Sip in more air. Open your mouth, let it go. Loka samasta soki no bhavantu. That means, may all living things be happy and free. You are loved, you are brave, and you are enough. The love and light within me honors and respects the love and light within you. And it is with this love and light that we are all connected. Namaste. Thank you, everybody.
Thank Thank you, Maren. I hope everyone feels nice and relaxed.